This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone.
Morning.
Yep, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you. And sorry for the delay. And yeah, let's get started. Actually, it was already late, so I'm starting. Okay. Yep. So if you're comfortable, I'm just sharing myself. So myself, Kalyan. So I'm going to be your instructor for this course. Okay. The course basically we talked about on the chat you have came across the Selenium with Python. Okay. We are going to start with the basis. Okay. So the basis of Python, you're going to learn the Python basics, how to write a code, how to understand writing test scripts for Python in automation. And in this session, I'm just going to give you a roadmap, overall course. Okay. So the course structure and the structure for learning automation through Python, and also what is the use of automation basically. So this will be our glimpse on automation today in our call today. Okay, so I'll give you a brief introduction of myself. So myself, Kalyan. I'm having an industrial experience of working with MNCs, and I'm currently working as an automation tester. Yeah, that's going to be myself. And needfully I'll be your instructor on this course to you people. So let's just start with something very basic. Okay, so always something, if you are learning something, so it's gonna be a question like what we are learning and how we are learning, why we are learning. So this is the main agenda to know from every person. And the first question would be, why do we learning automation testing for this course? Okay, so basically what software testing is, and what is manual testing. So why do we need automation? For this glance, I'm going to give you some clarity, step by step. So I'll explain what manual testing is and what functionality testing and non-functionality testings. So where can you use these automation scripts, and those things come into the picture for what again, and why it is very required to get in software testing automation. and why we are choosing Python first, basically. Yep. So first we need to know like what is the difference between manual testing and also automation testing. So basically, testing is important for improving quality of any product. Okay. So let's just say if we having a product like whatever product in the market. So let's say we and a common example. So if we are like purchasing any goods, items, services, whatever in our daily lives, we'll test it. So to its quality, we'll test it. Likewise, so in software, so as we are developing something product or service for a customer, so we need to have a quality check. So that quality check comes under quality testing. So quality testing can be in one of two types. Okay, still yet. So the quality is checked based on the requirement, and also with the user friendly agendas, basically. So I think I'm sharing my screen. Yep.
Kalyana, sorry, I can't see your screen so far. I don't know if you are going to start sharing or you have already shared.
I'm going to share right now.
Okay, sure.
Yep. I'm not yet sharing. Yeah, I'll share. I think it is visible right now. Hope you guys can see
Yes,
it. Yep, yep.
yes.
That's it. Yep. So in the point of manual testing, let's just say one thing. Okay. So Amazon, I'm just going to the Amazon website. Okay. So this is the Amazon website. So one of the developer has developed this kind of view. So which consists of UI, which consists of everything like UI backend and APIs and everything. So when we click on right click on something, we'll be having a button on the scroll down called inspect. So we'll be clicking on inspect. So you can see the elements that are involved with HTML, and whatever we are using for this page are enlisted here. We can see all the details for HTML details in the elements. If you want to see what are the APIs that are involved into this page, we'll be clicking on network, and we will be doing control R. It's refresh. So once we refresh it, so we can see all the details. Like, so here there are like photo status, like PNG files, GIF files, whatever here present, those are present in the memory of network. So this is one of the example. So in the process of testing this, so we have a website called amazon.in, and manually I want to check something into this website. So we'll be checking what, so we'll be clicking on Amazon. So we'll be testing that this button is present, and it is behavioral pattern. So it is working as expected or not, or else if we are like clicking on this location, no matter what the location is, can we, if we like see this kind of things, this is like one kind of quality check. So we have drop down call like this, and we can go down and scroll towards all the way down, and it is like but if you click on it, it should select and filter according to the functionality, search and everything. So let's say these are all the buttons that are enlisted for the amazon.in website. So manually if I'm doing this, like checking everything, is called manual testing. So it's gonna be like as a human being, he'll go everything, he'll do everything by itself. It's gonna be manual testing. So I'll be validating everything, the names and also the numbers, the strings, everything I'm gonna be validating on the data validation point. That's manual testing. If we are using python, and in the space of python, we are implementing scripts to check all these elements, is called automation testing. It's very simple. So if you are using python or something language, so we have different kind of languages, and we can also use different kind of things to automate. So we have Java. So we also we have QFAS. Basically, QFAS is a network. So where we have Cucumber and Karate API testing, Cucumber testing. So those are all frameworks. So here we are using Python, and also in the future we are going to be creating a framework. Framework is nothing but, so framework is a folder structure where we are defining the code, automation script code, and also in the same folder we'll be having a separate folder of results. So we'll be placing all your test results into your outputs. Output can be test results, whatever as we define. So it will be a folder structure with something having inputs and outputs, and you can run it through your pipeline meaning pipeline. So pipelining is something like, so whenever you CACD, it's continuous integration and continuous deployment. So in your continuous integration and deployment we will be going to learn. So whenever you change something into your scripts, or else you are updating something in your scripts, so it will fetch everything and it will run your test scripts. So it will fetch your results and it will do all the work by itself. So you are pipelining something again. So in this course, basically you are going to learn uh, the automation perspective of your Python, how PyChart is used and PyGUI used. So if we are like having the search button here, you need to pass some string. So let's say testing is something I am gonna like type into this string. So how you can pass this, and one more example I can show you. So here we are having some of the something like such fields which are predefined. So basically, for predefined things, the suggestion that you are getting into your the search bar. So if I click on right click and if I click on inspect, so this is all the list that is populating from the list input ID. So these things are called XPaths. So you are going to learn how to write these XPaths, how to use these XPaths into your automation scripts, and these XPaths uh, play a vital role in your Python scripts. So if you want to interact with the with your HTML script, so you need to know how to write an XPath for your elements. So and here it is. So basically, something is like shadow root open. This is like command. So this is predefined command. You cannot copy the like this kind of things. So basically, if you want to take something, so it's gonna be like finding. So Control F is the command that you need to do for elements in your inspection. So if I click on Control F, you will be seeing like this kind of format, find by string, selector, or XPath. So if you go to the exact thing, so basically this is the arrow mark that if you pop this thing and if you point to the point right where you want to get the XPath, so it will highlight that area. And if you click on right click, one of the shortcut is you can copy directly the full XPath, one of the direct way. If you and you can paste it here. So this is the XPath for that. So this is parent file of HTML body and NTP app and division, something like this, but it is not able to highlight because the shadow root is open. This is one of the reason. So we'll be also talking about this, what is shadow root and how that gonna be affecting your Python scripts and how to tackle that and different type of scenarios. Yeah, let me give you one thing. So I'm opening my notepad. Yep. So basically, we'll be talk right now. We'll be discussing about manual testing. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a glance on manual testing. So let's say we'll be discussing on the same topic. Okay. So for manual testing, so we have this web page and Amazon.in is a website. So we have a link for that, and for that, how you are going to write a test case for that. Basically, if you are testing something, Test case is also every time it consists of test cases, and execution is important for that. So if you are doing something for that, you need to have a background documentation always. So somebody came to you and you've been asked to do some testing. So first thing you need to do, prepare your test cases. So what test cases meaning, what are you going to test in that website, or else what is the requirement, or else what is the feature. Let's say one of the feature we are testing right now is a website Amazon. I'm writing test cases. Okay. Yeah, let's say one could be the first thing you need to do. I'm like explaining step by step. So what is Amazon.in? So it's an URL. So we what we need to do, open Chrome. Very first step, open Chrome. And second step, it's gonna be enter Amazon .in URL. And the third one could be checking the buttons. Uh, Checking the buttons meaning actions, meaning, so whatever right now we are just checking is kind of UI basically is a behavioral pattern. So behavior pattern, we have like two different elements called BDD and TDD. So BDD is an element of behavior driven development scripts. So TDD, test driven development scripts. So BDD is always deals with the UI. So UI meaning, again, the website, the page, whatever we are included into the uh, landscape of your website is going to be buttons, like working on buttons list. Basically the visibility of your website gonna be your UI part. And just a note, so while I'm explaining, just have some concentration on this, and just try to write your own lines on your book or else in your notepad every time. So this is like very starting, I'm gonna tell you some of the tricks and tips sometimes in the middle, and just note them down. So for this, to writing a test cases, first thing you need to have a clarity on how to implement that scenarios. So every scenario is going to be your test case again. So for scenario one, like, for there always scenarios will be positive and also the negative scenario. The positive scenarios is checking the buttons as of now and they are working. So all the buttons, button actions, whatever. And the fourth point is gonna be they are working as expected, and this is gonna be positive scenario. And the fifth point could be they are not working as expected. Let's go to some feature too. I'm not writing all things at once, but I'm just trying to make you understand how a case should go. We are opening the Chrome again and going to the Amazon URL again, and under the place of action buttons, we are selecting filter from drop down of all. And again, positive scenario is selected and filtered. Negative scenario is not selected and unfiltered. Yeah. So I have written two features basically. So for the same website. So the website, the first thing you need to do is the steps are, you need to open Chrome first, and you need to enter your Amazon.in URL, and then later on checking the buttons, and they are working as expected. This is the requirement for everything. In the point of manual testing, you will be opening this and you will be checking the scenarios, and you will be expected to see the positive scenario and also the negative scenario. Okay, and the next thing, when you are doing this, if you find something is not working as expected, so if let's say you have checking with the buttons and you are clicking on this button and you are not seeing this due to something broke down in the background, so that's going to be a bug. So you need to create a bug on this. So if something is not working and as expected, it's going to be a bug. So bug is something, an issue before your testing. So the expectation and of your requirement is not meeting as the work procedure of your feature is going to be a bug. So that's bug. And so writing these steps is important for everything, for every scenario whatever you're testing. So this things going to be helpful you to create a Python script basically. Yeah. So this is of manual testing. This is how you write a test case in your manual testing. So for okay, done. And I'm just gonna tell you on the automation standpoint how we are going to install something of Python and setting up the environment in your local, basically. So we have a website. So in your local, just go to your Chrome, and in the Chrome, just type with Python. So we have online compilers to check something in your online. You can just go with online compiler, and if you just go with Python, download. So you'll be having an official website of Python. So if you click on Python, you'll be having the latest versions of everything. So we have Python 3.13. You just click on Python 13. You can just place it in your local with the exe file. Click save. So it's gonna get downloaded in minutes. You go to your location in your local, the downloaded part. Just double click on it. So it says install now and customize installation. And here we have a buttons called use admin privileges when installing py.exe and add python.exp to the path. So just add two things and install in your local. Asking you this command, so the build version is of version 3 and make changes to your local. Yes, click on yes. The core interpretable and libraries of 64-bit. So always check with your laptop. So basically, the bit configuration of your laptop is your standard configurations. So while this is running in the background, so we have something called environment. So edit the system environment variables. What is this basically? So let's say this is just a machine. For this machine, you need to know like how a machine is communicates first. So basically, this machine, if you're talking to it should reply you back. But likely, so if I know Telugu and my brain, which has Telugu configuration to it, so I can speak on Telugu. Like I mean, I can speak English when it is configured with English. So basically, this is the brain configuration. So of your machine. So if you click on it, we have environmental variables, and this is the configuration setup for everything. So we have paths. So in under the path, I have already placed this location for your scripts. So basically, wherever the scripts are getting downloaded into in your local, so that location is your location. Python 3.12 the scripts. is the location that I'm using in my local, so it is got fetched and it is created here. Something if something is not working, so just come here and just check with the edit environmental variables whether the Python scripts are present here or else no. Just check here and it's gonna be looking like this. Right now I'm using VS Code. Once if I click on open, yeah. So basically I'm talking about framework, right? Something like framework. So the framework something which will be looking like this basically. The so this is of Java as of now, but in Python, it's going to be looking like this. So we'll be having some Python file here and the main Python resources, and we'll be having test, and under the test we'll be having feature files. Feature file basically of Python again. So we'll be using .py every time. So I am doing file. Just click on file and click on new file. So there's a Python already inbuilt. So I'm just clicking on Python. Your Python is getting installed.
Kalyan, question. Whatever you're teaching is getting recorded, right? And this recording would be shared with us today?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So we'll be putting this link in your chat boxes, and you can use this link to view it again.
Yeah, it's just because my installation is taking a bit longer. So.
No problem. You can have it again. So basically, like format. So it is being installed. Yeah, I am also getting a lag installation. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, once this installation done, yeah. If you're like clicking on a new file, basically the output in your VS Code something will be looking like this. So basically, I have downloaded VS Code previously, so it is in my local. But if you want to download it again, just same as Python, go to your local. I mean, like in the home, search for VS Code, and you can download it from the public sources. So here in the open chat, there I have like open a new file, and if I click on the select language, and it is not detecting that py, so Python, I'm searching Python. Yep, it is now in Python. So let's just put a name called test. So we have something called comments called I I commented it out in the test. It will not execute in your local basically. So I'm just giving a statement called print. Let's do one thing before we'll be checking the interlocal. If you click on search, we have CMD command prompt. Open your command prompt first. Yeah, the setup was successful. Just closing this window. Okay, we are on command prompt. So we are in the path of C users and am.mcal. So I'm just typing in Python. Yes, search with Python space hyphen version. I'm just checking the version which is installed in my local. So we have 3.13.3. Right now we installed 3.13.3, so it is updated. So same again. If I click on python Python, just Python. So we are into the Python as of now. So it is running in the local. So we have this arrows that indicates we are into the Python. So let's say print brackets string called hello world. LD. I'm closing it, the statement. So I'm just giving a command called print, and which is inbuilt feature of Python. The print statement for this word, I'm just passing a string called hello world, and I'm just clicking on enter. So the output is hello world. So directly I'm just having a conversation with Python. So I'm just writing some commands to work on it, and it is executing in command prompt itself. So for the print again, so I'm just trying to do a equal to no, let's just say 6 plus 3, and I'm just asking some integers 6 plus 3, and I'm just clicking on enter. The output is 9. So it is also giving the calculation parts. So let's say a equal to 1 and b equal to 3. So this is one of the error. So if you are like taking a as a capital string and a capital case, and this is also small case, so it says Python input of to line 1 having syntax error. So we are not using comma or else closing the statement. So it's this is index error, syntax error basically, one of the things. So basically, and also in Python, indentation is very important. Indentation is nothing but space. So when you are writing something on your screen like this, on your IDE, local IDE, meaning we have IDs like VS Code and PyCharm. So in coming forward, we'll be using PyCharm mostly for Python. So using Python, PyCharm is very easy to write something, and we have supporters in plugins in PyCharm a lot more than VS Code. So yeah, I'll just explain you how VS Code works basically. So this is the screen of VS Code. So we have file section. We can always take a file from your local, or else download a file or work on a file. Whatever, we have file related options here, and editing and selection of something and view and run terminals. So basically, the running of your Python scripts gonna be starting here, debugging basically. And we have an explorer kind of thing. So here you'll be seeing your all the project structure. We have a search thing is for you can search in your local market with something if you want to have. So this is bugs, and this is something of extensions. So this is important. So in your extensions you can download Python. So we have Python debugger and Python something of Microsoft. I already downloaded it. With this plugin, so the VS Code having some its own brain kind of thing. So that's extensions, that's plugins. So we also have Gherkin plugin. So for fish files, cucumber kind of things. So we will be having something like Gherkin. Gherkin is a script typewriter. So in the typewriter, something which definitely looks like this. Yep. So this is one of the examples of your plugins. So plugins are like extra add-on support behavior for your brain meaning environment, and again it's for local machines. So let's say hello world. Just click on right click and s.py. Here it is creating actually. But what we'll do, we'll be just creating something in our local. Yep, we can see the output here. Hello world. So I'm just printing something. So if I go to the print statement, that for that function, you can also see the output definition for that. So for function of define which is of print, the values in the object are getting, which are strings, are getting output in your local terminal. So what we just saw is installing a Python and installing some VS Code or else any ID in your local, and after that your configuration with your environment. You mainly basically of setting up Python in your local, and yeah. And the next point is you have learned how to write a test cases for every scenario, maybe the positive and negative scenario, that manual testing again. Now, so now this we are going to discuss what is the difference between manual testing and also automation testing in feature wise. Yep. So we have something like this. Okay, so this is manual testing. So we have written to features of something of buttons, and also for something selecting drop down from your local. Basically, it is like this. I'm just saying you all the features that we written. So we have all the buttons to check and something filter. This is the filter and this is the categories. Or from this we are testing with the second thing in manual testing. So always human involvement is involved. Okay, so in automation testing there is also a requirement for human to run the scripts, but in manual testing, for everything, for every test case that you have written, you need to go there, you need to do it, you need to do it's a time taking process, and it's a resource taking process. So if you are doing all this time by yourself, so it's going to be kind of work like in the automation testing. So you can work on these two elements parallelly, and it will check with the positive scenarios and negative scenarios, however so it finds. So basically, and again, so positive scenario meaning and negative scenario meaning, so there can be multiple again. So in the drop down all, you can see every element. So basically in the drop down, so there are like multiple elements. So you should go first here and you should click on Alexa skills. Okay, it is going, and in manual testing. So you're clicking on Amazon devices. Okay, it's going and filtering. So you're clicking on Amazon fashion. It's going and it's testing. Okay, so like this. You need to go one on one, one on one, one on one. You're checking. It's time taking process again. So to remove this thing, so remove this manual effort of time, resource, and everything, so we will be using Python scripts. In Python scripts, again, meaning, so we'll be writing Python scripts as is, I'll just show you one of the example how a Python will look like, Python scripts will look like. So in your local, just go to the Git. So GitHub is a public resource where we can find all the codes or which are pre-written elements in your local websites. Coming forward, we'll be writing something like one on one using our own codes. So something here we have the Docker file and also PyProject. So utils. So this is one of the folder structure. We are in going forward. We'll be creating these kind of things in within our local itself. And okay, so that's for automation point. So for every feature file, uh, the performance is always depends on your human, and in scripts it is depends on your Python scripts. Always automation scripts play a vital role, and it is very efficiency, and we have best test coverage areas, and it can be ran very easily simply, and you can run multiple test cases all at once. Okay, for now we installed VS Code, and we have installed Python, and we solved something. And okay, we'll be writing some basic scripts one on one. So I'm gonna tell you like how this gonna be working in Python. So command is a comment basically. I'm using here the ash ampersand. So ash is an command, like inbuilt function for comment. Comment meaning again while debugging it will exclude the comments. So coming forward, we'll be starting with Python. So in Python, we'll be starting with the basic elements of meaning different data types. So data types of integers, floats, strings, and booleans. So coming forward, we'll be doing that. Right now, we have encountered manual testing and how we can write something in automation. I'm just gonna show you an example how that look like. And interestingly, so automation for test cases right now that we are using, that's not only one thing that you can work on basically in your real world. So in the real world, so if you're working in somewhere, you need to write cases for something else. That's fine. But in your real life, so there are like always repetitive tasks in your life. So let's say if you're like waking up at 6 o'clock and you're checking your mail every day and checking your whatever. So if you are a gym person, if you are like creating a reminder for gym every day, and that's the work that you need to do every day, right? So kind of repetitive tasks that can be automated in your local too. So it can be done in your phones basically. That's also available. So here interestingly we have Gmail creation automation Python. So something so here this person is just whatever he's doing, so he's like creating a gmail code. So here he's using a Selenium automation framework basically of Chrome WebDriver. So we are going to discuss what web drivers are. So how web drivers are played a key role in your automation scripts. So basically everything that you are working on UI, so that you need to have a connect communication with your local application of Chrome browsers or a Linux browser. How Linux browser and browser is used to fetch your test cases and run through. That's going to be one of the thing. So here we have Python code. Let's go to the Python code. So this is how it look like basically. Let's say So we have Python, sorry, uh, Amazon that website. So we have something like this. So, and in your first test script, we have Open Chrome and something like this, and we are going to Python code. So in the Python code, you can see of that like commands called from and everything. So this is the Python package, and that we are installed from the WebDriver. So from Selenium import WebDriver. So this is one of the inherent commands, I mean functionalities that we can use in your Python. So basically, what is this? So basically, why we are using from Selenium to import WebDriver. First thing, so we install Python. We have that brain. So brain already has like multiple elements in it, functionality methods in it, constructors might be there. So while you are having multiple things in your brain, so while you are writing, you are specifying what to take basically. So everything is already pre-built. So we have Selenium import drivers. So whatever we have in here, we can fetch it there. So here we have import WebDriver. So let's go to command prompt. We are already on the Python, so I'm just exiting it. Exit. So I got exited, and right now I'm in my local. So I'm doing pip install, and I'm using command of Python. So in Python, pip install. I'm clicking on OK, and I'm into the pip install. So I'm just checking pip version, pip hyphen version. Yeah, we have pip of 25.0.1. So far, I'm on pip right now. So we have something import command of WebDriver. Let's say pip install WebDriver. So the error is could not find a version that satisfies the requirement of WebDriver. It says none. So meaning the distribution of the same web, sorry, is not available in your Python local. Okay, that's fine. Basically, so the code look like this. In the web service, we will be placing services of WebDriver, and the Chrome options look like this, and last name something we configure here. So this is of one Python code, one of the automation code. So here, whatever is doing for mails. So mails is like sending key and clear. These are the commands that we'll be using for automation. So what happens here is it will be opening a mail driver in the Chrome. It opens, and the first names of like this and last names of this. Randomly, it gets names, and for every random of like 1,000 variables, for this it for the password something is logged into this account, and is giving that names, and is sending everything, the passwords and everything, to send mails. So he's customizing everything. Like basically, he's using the script to send mails to members. So basically, it's like marketing. We have a marketing kind of thing basically, and you can also like work like this. So like let's say an example in your daily life. So basically, you are getting ads in your phones daily. So you are getting mails in your, and right now it also started in your WhatsApp or else any social media. You are getting so much of mails. So the mails getting triggered from your cookies. So cache and cookies are the elements in your browser. So they store whatever you're searching and doing things. It gets stored in your local. According to that, personalized ads will be popping up in your systems for that system, that thing. So every time, if I'm like searching for mobile phone, and the cookies get stored in my local, every time I open my social media, I can see my search mobile phone as an ad. Okay, so for that thing, in kind of automation perspective, the cookies will get stored it in your local, and that thing as part of automation, it gets collected from the data perspective, and later on, to whomever like who are opening the same kind of thing, it will get distributed as an automation. So as point of code, he's not opening every single person and is not sending ad to that one person one by one. He did something automated it. So whenever someone opens search for mobile something, and it automatically receives an ad related to your search cookie. So that's how it's related. And in your daily life, whatever you're getting, all the mails, spams, everything, that is automated some while ago. And you can also write your own script, and you can also send mails or whatever fits fine as an advertisement or marketing. So this is one of the example for your automation. At automation testing scripts are different again, and you need to know testing scripts are different and automation scripts are different. Automation scripts you can achieve anything which are very repetitive. Automation testing of Python is like you are testing either the UI or else API in the background. That is automation testing. Again, what is an API? We have came across API. API meaning, I'll just say you an example, real world example. We have Google Maps. Google Maps, they have written pre-code, which is of Google. And let's say while building Google Maps, in the Google Maps application in the background, the code which Google has written, it took couple of years. So they written like what 30,000 lines of code, which can give you the clarity of every location and whatever we are having. Let's just see too. I'm just showing. I'm going to Maps. I'm on Google Maps. For the screen and everything, whatever we are seeing right now, everything. So these things are predefined. So basically, someone worked on the code of mapping and everything. They have like created this map structure, things, everything by himself. So this is one of the example. So for this, and we are using what Rapido, Uber, and other things. They also have their own again maps. So if they want to have their own map, they also need to write Google Maps code like uh, everything from the beginning. That 30,000 lines of code without any mistake. The developer, which he worked on like couple of years, that Uber person or else the Rapido person needs to write from the scratch. So that is very difficult to tackle this. So API comes into the picture. So API is something like this. So I'm showing an example. So we have a client, we have a request, and we are having API. We will be having a response. We will be placing it some server. This is basic proportionality, like the example I said right now. So client is Rapido. He'll be requesting Google Maps API. So whatever this Google Maps has, so he'll be creating a link, and that link will be storing it as an API. So the client will request that API. So he'll be using all the source code of mapping and everything of Google, and he'll be having a response back. So with that API, it is already storing in some server cloud. So basically, API works like this. When you are writing a numerous number of code, okay, so it might be like lengthy code or else something working in the background. For that, if you want that to work with some other feature, so you'll be creating a link and API, and you'll be using that link wherever you are feels required and necessary. Did you understood what I said? or else any doubt on this, please question back. So whatever you are learning, if you are going to question it, and you will be going to learn it much more. Are you there, Tim? I think you gone very into the sleep mode. Nobody's reacting, responding. Hi everyone, good morning. Are you there, guys?
I'm here, but it's just that you started with the thing that you're going to share the roadmap of what we are going to learn, and I'm still trying to figure out what's the roadmap.
No, okay. Yeah, I just explained how what are the elements that we are going to learn in here. So okay, if we
Okay.
speak of roadmap, so I can explain you that. Okay, yeah, okay, fine.
Because it's pretty like the way you have explained everything, it seems pretty intense because I don't have any background of Python. I'm seeing things for the first time. I do have background of testing, but Python is something new which I'm going to learn. Um, Same goes for Selenium and PyTest.
Okay, so basically, so this is our introduction class basically. So I'm not giving you a whole bunch of Python things into the one class. So the
Yes.
roadmap, which exactly looks like, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, I'm just writing it here. Okay, yeah, you can see my screen, right? Yep. So first, basically, we'll be in this class. Basically, we talked about manual testing. So, so we have manual testing, and manual testing which of automation differences. So using Python. So what will be your roadmap? Mhm. So coming forward, the first thing you are going to learn Python. Okay, Python for basics to write a test case. Okay, so let's say, so in your manual testing, so you have written from website. So these are the expected user test cases. Okay, and from speaking of our roadmap, we will be learning Python basics. Basics again, meaning how to write a single line of code, like implementing
Yeah,
print
I
or
got
else
that. Yeah.
uh, basically of everything basics, and how you are going to use that basics to write your test cases in your Python. That gonna be very first thing. So you are learning Python whole in pointing to the Selenium, and
Yeah.
next we'll be learning Selenium. Yeah, come again. Any question, ask.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, okay, so we'll be learning Selenium as a package. So how we are going to be installing Selenium package to your Python script. So how we are communicating with the Chrome browser or else Chrome options. Basically, there are like multiple things in your Python. So how you going to use it? So while basics that you are writing test cases in your Python, you are also going to learn what all the packages that you can use with Python. So not only which are relevant to your test case, but also you will be learning everything. So with Python, what all you can achieve. So Python can be used for backend services and also front-end services using Ruby. And if you want to build an website, so you have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So in point of actionable items, Python can come into the picture, and you can also write something in Python in the space of action in your web pages in the backend. So that thing also I'll be covering there. And next thing we have Selenium package related things. So like packages again, we'll be having multiple packages with Selenium, like PyAuto GUI, Py.test. So PyAuto GUI is an element. So in PyAuto GUI, you can communicate with your robotic aspects of your local. So you can go to your local, and if you can click on something, you can move your mouse, and you can also automate like these kind of elements like keyboard, mouse, and your screen, like moving your mouse. PyAuto GUI comes into the picture. That's second thing. So you'll be learning Python first, and next you will be learning Python with Selenium packages, uh, and next, so you have something of related to the framework again. So you will be writing a framework, creating a framework. So coming forward, the assignment will look like, so there are going to be assignments. So right now I explained with the Amazon website. Exclusively related to that, we'll be creating a test website. We'll be having a test website, and you need to go there using your script, and you need to run your test scripts, maybe logging in, like kind of these kind of scenarios. You will be working on any kind of feature testing, and you will be writing your own test cases, and in your automation pie, and that you are going to do that. That's third thing. Fourth, I mean, like fourth thing going to be, third thing basically, addressing like how to write a framework, creating a framework, what are folder structures, and everything. So in the Selenium package also, you will be learning about expands, how to write expands. So basically, we saw in the local, so in Google page, in the inspect we have expands, and how expands is used to helpful for writing your web page elements. So for web page elements to work on UI, so you need to have experts knowledge. We'll be also learning that, and later framework, and later, so versioning, version git. So in the version git, so every time you are up, so you have written a code, and next time you are changing something, so it is the next version again. So how, if you are storing it in your cloud meaning online, so if you're storing it online, sometimes the next time you are writing something, it might get affected, or else it might be getting an enhancement. So I'll be also telling you how to get meaning online, it online storing and cloud storing is all, everything is same. And you will be learning that how to git commands, and how you are going to use in your local. That's version, and that you are going to learn. And the fifth thing is, when you are like online it, and you can also pipeline it. Pipeline meaning CI/CD. So continuous integration and continuous development. So basically, a test script, okay, basically one of any test script, if you are integrating it in your local, so every time you change something, it needs to run by itself. Okay, so for that, you'll be learning pipelining of CI/CD. So with Jenkins, basically Jenkins, or else Maven, whatever it is, see if it's fine. So you'll be covering these elements. This is the roadmap, one on one, step by step.
Okay. Okay. I
These
understand that.
these things you'll be covering in this course. Yeah. So any questions again?
For the next class, do you expect us to come prepared with something?
No. Especially you need to have your local setup. So just install Python or else VS Code. Anything is fine. Okay. Uh, Next class, what we're going to do is, we'll be learning about Python. Only Python and Python basics. We'll start with Python basics, and from tomorrow you will be like starting your assignments on how to write scripts in Python. So get your setup done in your local. That's the only main expectation of today.
Okay.
And
You
also,
were saying in future you're going to use PyCharm. So which one actually we should install? Is it VS Code or PyCharm? Which one would be easier for us to follow along?
Python is good actually.
Okay,
So we have Python website, and just go here and download the community version is fine.
sure.
So with all the questions, we'll be providing you this link in your chat box. Uh, it will be available again, and you can watch it again, and you can use these things, whatever we discussed today. 1 minute. Okay. So coming to this training, so this is gonna be our course for Selenium with Python. So these are the things that we are going to cover throughout our session. Okay. So there are like this is just a demonstration, which is not totally involving into the deepest topics of automation and Python. So in the demo, we just know what manual testing is, and how you write a test case for that, and how what a bug is, and what is the difference between manual testing and also the automation testing, and why we are using automation testing, and what language that we are using in automation testing, Python basically, and yep, and related to the course and structure, this is what it is. If you have any doubts and clarification, you can always reach out to the people in our group chats. They're always available, and every day we'll be recording this session, and every time we'll be posting this link in our group chats. You can watch it again. Okay, that's one thing I need to address to you. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing. Any questions? Actually, I have introduced myself, and I want you to introduce yourself, guys. I just want to know your background and everything. Starting with Aarti. Aarti, you can go ahead. If you're speaking, we are not hearing you. Yeah, someone can speak actually. Introduce yourself.
I have a question.
And
Can you
yeah, I'll go ahead.
show the notepad once again?
Come again.
Can you show the notepad again, like where you have been typing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so pipeline CI/CD, is it just with Jenkins or anything else that we can cover here?
We'll be covering all the elements with Jenkins, and also the Maven, and also the dependencies. So I'm just clarifying. We'll be mostly using Jenkins. So in the real world outside, Jenkins play a vital role. So there is a website of Jenkins where the pipeline happens. So that is basically easiest one. So I'll be covering that, and through Python. So we can also use some of the other features of Maven. Through Maven also we'll be doing that. Yeah, I'll explain you in the both scenarios.
Okay, pipelines.
Yep.
Can we cover that as well?
Yeah, we'll be covering that as well. Yes.
Thanks.
Yep. Any more questions? If you are good, just go ahead and introduce yourself, guys. Ravi.
Yeah, so I have
Yeah, just introduce yourself.
for 10 years now into the software testing uh, with pretty much usage of automation as well. But I just wanted to more learnings on the CI/CDs. So I see Azure pipelines, GitHub workflows. So those are the areas I am looking for actually, and to recollect anything on the Selenium side also.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I work for a company called Finestra into the banking domain.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Kirti, you can
Yeah,
introduce.
I'm Kritika and I'm from Chennai. I'm working as a manual tester in Trident Solution and I wanted to switch to automated software testing, so came here to learn automated software testing.
Okay, any questions as for now?
Um, I just have only one question. Uh, we are going to use PyTest in this learning. Are we going to use it even in a practical way of learning or just
Yes.
theoretical?
So it's all going to be very practical. So we'll be
Okay.
writing code in your Python. So and we'll be writing some code, which is very relevant to our real life scenarios. Okay,
Okay.
it's going to be
Uh,
very practical.
okay. Regarding the projects, okay, after completing this course, are we going to do all this learnings and on some projects, live projects like that?
Yes, so within your assignments, so for every week, we'll be having some of assignments. In your assignments, you'll be working exactly of your automation scripts. So and uh, in the whole in the month, like on the end, you'll be asked to create some test cases by your own using
Oh,
Python, and which covers everything, Git versioning and also the CI/CD pipeline. So we'll do that too.
okay. This is a general question. Actually, I've gone through the website, Isha Training website. They mentioned as we are having 40 hours of training for this particular course.
Yes.
We'll be covering 1 hour each day. So, are you going to take classes even on weekends, Saturday, Sunday?
Let's see whatever will fits fine.
Okay.
I'll get you on that. You have a chat box in your groups, right? Post a
Yes,
message
yes.
there. Let's we can figure it out.
Yeah. Total 40 hours. Okay. We are going to complete this session. Will this be covered even with the practical learning also, or that will be
Yes,
taking an extra time? Okay. All this will be covered within 40 hours.
yes. So as of today, just the introduction session. So we haven't covered much more in the first day. So just not get burden in your head. Seeing very new things in the very first day gets anxiety. So I just don't want to throw you up on that. So we just started on the basics and coming forward tomorrow, basically. By tomorrow, you will be learning all the basics of your Python. Within a couple of weeks, you will be also starting with your Selenium scripts too, in a very practical solutions.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kalyan, so far my understanding is this is a weekday class, Monday to Friday. The timing is 7 to 8 a.m. India time. That's what the current setting is, right? I know
Yep.
Kritika or something, I can't pronounce her well, asked for a weekend batch, but this is something is the current schedule, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., right?
Yep.
Okay. honestly, one feedback though, in terms of timing, I'm based in Australia, so I am doing this in between my work. Um, so it would be good if we can stick to the timing. I know this is first day, all good, but just a general suggestion.
Yeah, sure, sure. So we are good here, right? So we can drop the call.
This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.